Welcome to W&L Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. This week we'll speak with wrestling coach Nathan Shearer, men's swimming captain Cole Schott, and women's basketball junior Emily Perszyk. But first, a quick look back at the weekend in Washington and Lee athletics. Women's basketball scored a 93-75 victory at Roanoke, while men's hoops fell 72-58 on the road against Virginia Wesleyan. Women's swimming defeated Bridgewater, and the wrestling team produced 5 runner-up finishes in placing 3rd at the annual Jim Kreitzer Invitational in the Water Center. Here with me in the studio is wrestling coach Nathan Shearer. Nathan, welcome back to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me.
How pleased were you with the team's performance in the home invite on Saturday?
Yeah, the team did really well. We had, as you mentioned, 5 guys make the finals, and we were without 2 of our main scorers, 133 and 184 pounds, and that I think would have put us in the mix for the team race. But nonetheless, we had a lot of good wins over the weekend. A lot of guys wrestled well. Even the guys that didn't make the finals had just a really nice tournament coming off a break, so I was really pleased.
The Generals' larger roster this season has made you more competitive in dual matches, but what other positive impacts has it had on the team and on the program?
It definitely, I mean, psychologically, just being a part of a larger group, I mean, it affects practice plans, practice partners, but even outside the practice room, supporting other teams and organizations, and our guys are involved in different things on campus. The guys can kind of get together and go to those events, so yeah, all around.
Overall, how would you assess the first 2 months of the regular season?
The first 2 months have been really well. We're 2-2 in dual meets. The 2 teams that we've lost to are now top 25 teams, and I think one will be top 10 team when the next ranking comes out. Very competitive in those dual matches. The tournaments we've went to, we've just have done the best we've ever had at these tournaments that we're going to. So more placers, champions. We currently have a wrestler ranked 6th in the country at 133 pounds. And I think that's maybe the highest in the program's history.
Most of your remaining events are Centennial Conference matches. You're about a month away from the league championship. What are your expectations for W&L within the Centennial this season?
Through these duels, just keep building momentum and be ready for the tournament. We're more of a dual meet team this year than in years past, so the expectations are just, we're really excited to get to compete every weekend and have all the guys place at the conference tournament.
Nathan, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the rest of the year.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
With me in the studio now is Emily Perszyk, junior basketball player from Greendale, Wisconsin. Emily, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
W&L has endured some injuries to key players off and on throughout the season so far, and yet you recently beat a couple of ODAC foes without your 2 captains. How have you been able to battle through this adversity to pick up some wins?
Yeah, as you said, Emma Redding and Jackie Clifford are 2 captains and awesome players on the court. We've both been out lately in the last 3 games now, and I think we saw different things occurring in 2 of those wins. So in Randolph, we had some really key underclassmen step up in those games. Catherine Hoy, Andy Smithy both played some very respectable minutes in those games and contributed in multiple ways, doing little things like getting some extra assists and extra boards and definitely helping to get some key stops in those victories. And then as well in the Roanoke game, we had Aylin Kelly and Andrea Ferrero both really contributing down low, getting some double-doubles as well. And then Taylor Casey having a really big game, shooting well outside. We've had some really a really balanced scoring attack from everyone. And so I think in the game last night against EMU, we didn't see that quite as much and didn't really stick to our game plan as well. But in the victories, that's, I think, how we did that. So.
Over your first 2 seasons, you established a reputation as one of the best outside shooters in the ODAC. This year, you're scoring a higher percentage of your points from inside the 3-point arc. How have you worked to improve your game, especially on the offensive end?
Yeah, as you mentioned, I had been known for the outside shooting, and so I think it just made me very predictable and very easy to guard. And so that was something that I really focused on improving this last summer. Just getting a lot of reps on, driving full speed to the basket and practicing even just with chairs and cones attacking and in different ways. And so I think in focusing on that over the summer, that's how I've, seen my play change, just trying to be more dynamic overall and a more challenging person to guard on the court.
We've talked with other members of the team about the strength of the Generals' non-conference schedule. 3 of your opponents are still unbeaten and nationally ranked. Now that you're on the other side of those games, how do you see that benefiting the Generals?
Overall, I would say it's really helped in order to kind of show us that we can stick with those teams. We are able to play at that level, and while we didn't really, pull out wins against those tougher teams, I think it showed us that you know, in order to compete with them, we have to do the little things right. We have to get those defensive stops, get some boards, and really look to execute our plays and just control the ball, especially. I think now that we're facing some more opponents in the ODAC, we're starting to limit our turnovers and focus more on those little things again. And so it's easier to stop a team's run when you've played against that different higher level competition.
It's nothing but ODAC games for the rest of the year. What are the team's goals for the second half of the regular season?
I think overall our main goal is just obviously to win as many of those games as we can, and just to keep working as a team to do so. Looking forward to trying to put ourselves in the best possible position going into the ODAC tournament, hoping to be in the top 4, trying to get a bye in that first round, and just continuing to improve every day. I think we really want to continue to focus on that defensive end, especially in getting rebounds and stuff against all of our opponents, and just hanging with the top teams. So,
Emily, thanks for joining us. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Joining me now is Cole Schott, senior swimming captain from Nashville. Cole, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
The men's team has not had a regular season event since early December. How excited are the Generals to get back in the pool?
I think everyone's really excited. Frankly, going down to Miami and training, everyone's in really good shape. We've had some long course training. We're back in the short course pool now. So to get back in and actually compete and swim fast and hopefully see the hard work that we put in for 3+ weeks without a meet will be really exciting. I think everyone's looking forward to it.
Saturday's meet against Catholic is your final home event of the regular season. It is also slated to be the last official regular season competition at Cy Twombly Pool. With all those things in mind, how are the Generals approaching this weekend?
Yeah, there's a little bit of historical significance to that, no doubt. But I think by and large, we're approaching it as a normal meet. Like I said, everyone's coming off long course training, which is sort of a whole different monster than short course training. So everyone's in really great shape. It's the best shape we've been in all year. So it's a great way to start tuning up for ODACs, which we're about a month and a few days out of. So I think by and large, it's a normal meet for us. Obviously, those pool records, they either come down or they don't. And if they don't come down, they stand forever. And there's some old ones there that people are certainly aiming at. But for the most part, we're just, focused on swimming fast, swimming well, and hopefully winning the meet.
You mentioned the ODAC Championship coming up in mid-February. You're going to wrap up the regular season next weekend at York. What's on the team's agenda for those 3 weeks in between competitions?
Sure, yeah. So we'll enter into what in the swimming world we call the taper season and sort of bring down the yardage. We'll practice a little bit less, a little bit shorter practices. We'll come off the weights kind of slowly. We'll come off the dryland training kind of slowly, and hopefully by the few days before ODACs, everyone's really well rested, everyone's healthy. No one's sick, and everyone's fully primed to swim as fast as they possibly can. We'll do the shave the night before ODACs, and everybody will be feeling really fast in the water. And so those 3 weeks will be, frankly, it's the best time of the year for a swimmer to be in taper season, because you get to work a little bit less and rest a little bit more. You stop taking the stairs and you start taking the elevator and things like that. So it's a lot of fun for all of us in those 3 weeks. But then there's also the mental aspect of swimming, where you get your head in the right place for competition and make sure that you're ready to do everything technically well. And if you're able to combine those two things, sort of resting well and getting your head in the right mental space, then everybody swims fast, and that's the goal.
What are you hoping to see the Generals accomplish as you wrap up your collegiate career?
Well, I think for me, another ODAC championship would be a great reward for 4 years of swimming. I think as a men's team, we've brought this program a long way from when I was a freshman. We've had really successful recruiting. We've brought in a lot of high caliber talent to the team. And so then beyond winning the ODAC, I want to see as many people on the men's team go to, and as on the team generally, go to NCAAs as possible. I think we have a really strong chance of sending a couple relays and a few individuals to NCAAs. So my goal for the team is everybody goes best times. We put together some strong relays that have a shot at making nationals. Our individuals who have a shot at making nationals swim their best times. And if we do all of that, as a senior in my last year swimming, that'll make me happy.
Cole, thanks for joining us. Best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you very much.
It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. Men's and women's swimming play host to their final home event of the year, taking on Catholic on Saturday. There's also a basketball doubleheader in the Warner Center. The women meet defending ODAC champion Lynchburg, while the men will face Randolph. Elsewhere Saturday, wrestling will take on the Merchant Marine Academy, and men's and women's track and field head to Chapel Hill for the UNC Open. For W&L Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching. It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. Men's and women's swimming play host to their final home event of the year, taking on Catholic on Saturday. There's also a basketball doubleheader in the Water Center. The women meet defending ODAC champion Lynchburg, while the men will face Randolph. Elsewhere Saturday, wrestling will take on the Merchant Marine Academy, and men's and women's track and field head to Chapel Hill for the UNC Open. For W&L Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.